Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's so good to be here with you today. Ooh, yes, let's talk about this. I want to talk about hormones. I want to talk about my journey. I simply want to share what has worked for me, the exact things that I decided to change. There are literally so many ways to go about this, okay? I just think that it's helpful. You know, if I would have had a video like this maybe like 5 years ago when I was really kind of at my bottom with my hormonal health and my wellness, like it just, like I was very overwhelmed, okay? So for a lot of you, maybe you're already doing these things, but I'm trying to really just like lay down everything that I've done to bring my hormones into balance. I have really never felt so solid with my moon time, with especially like my anxiety or just really up and down emotions, my skin breaking out, like everything has just kind of like come to a nice level place. Now, do I sometimes feel like energetically a little more sensitive around like my period? Yeah, but it's nowhere near what it used to be. Like, do I want to like cozy up in a blanket and just kind of like, you know, watch movies? Yeah, like, okay, I'm not like, that's still happening, but I'm not, you know, having like cyst rupture and all of these really crazy hard things that I was going through. And for me, you know, the week before my period was really hard, and then the week of my period, you know, you're bleeding, you just feel like kind of anemic, and like that wasn't good either. So that's like 6 months out of the year that I'm not feeling 100%, and that's how I was living my life for many years. So it became a big priority for me to like really figure out how I can get my hormones a bit more balanced. So I'm gonna take you guys through a little bit of my story, just so you can kind of understand, like as a woman, some of the things that I was walking through, and that just is part of my experience. And if that's part of yours, you know, like I think it's just good to share these stories, and especially to share these healing stories of things that that we walk through, and then we're like, okay, that worked. Yeah, we need to be sharing that with each other. Well, to start out, you know, pretty much as soon as my period began at like 13 or so, I mean, I had a really hard time. I've always like bled very heavy. I think it's called endometriosis. I should have looked that up before this video, but pretty much where like you get cysts and just things are just a bit heavier and a little bit harder for you around your moon time. And that was always my story. I always felt like I was really anemic and just, you know, and I've always been very petite. And to have these like really big heavy periods, it felt like a lot for me. And so that's how that went for about 10 years. You know, it was always very painful. I would sometimes be throwing up because I was in such pain that I would be vomiting because I was in so much, my abdominal was cramping and like just so painful. So do you hear my little boy? So that was my journey for about 10 years, was just like, I just thought that was gonna be part of my life. I didn't really know if there was much I could do about it. I did try many different forms of synthetic birth control, and you guys, man, that was just, I don't have like a lot of health regrets, but that is one of them. I really wish, after knowing what I do now, just about my body and how much better I feel not being on that stuff, whew, my God, I never was able to, I tried all of them, you guys. I tried the shot that you get, and I ended up bleeding for 6 months. I tried all the pills, like all of them. I tried all of them. I tried the ring thing. I mean, I'm just letting you know, like I literally went through, I was like, oh, there's got to be one of these that works for me, and it was just, nothing really helped. Nothing really went to the root of what I was dealing with and helped balance things out. I really never found relief at that route. In fact, I had the experience personally of just feeling like my whole like spirit and like I don't know, my like primal nature as a woman, or like my sexuality. Like I just felt like that synthetic birth control put like a veil around all of that, and just, I don't know, it made me really cloudy to the juiciness of like being a woman. And anyway, so I all to say, didn't have a good experience there, and I'm still really focusing on like detoxing my body from years of trying I mean, literally, like I would meet with my doctor and it's like, well, let's try something else. Let's try something else. Let's try something else. Fast forward to, I think I was about 24, and I had been dealing with cysts for a while, and I had been going to the emergency room pretty much while I was 23, 24, really early in my marriage. There would be times at night where I would be getting up in the middle of the night and like I was doubled over in pain, and I went to the emergency room a few times. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't know what to tell me. They pretty much just told me like, sorry, we don't know, and off I would go feeling freaking crazy because like I'm in so much abdominal pain, and the only thing that they were telling me is like, well, it's not your appendix, sorry. And it just sucked. Like I didn't know. I didn't know. But there was a time that came when I was 24 that the pain it hit me so like all at once that I was I was screaming. I could barely make words. I was screaming. The pain was so intense. I could barely talk. And I told Ben, I need to go to the emergency room. There's something wrong with me. And so I was rushed to the emergency room. Sorry, this is being a longer story than I intended, but I just kind of want to, like, it was traumatic. Okay, I go to the emergency room. I had a dermoid cyst the size of a tennis ball that had wrapped around my ovary. And you guys, I can't help but think that all of those synthetic birth control pills that I was taking was just really feeding, and the soy that I was eating at that time, because around that time in my early 20s, I was like, yeah, need to eat better, vegan. Oh, that means like, that's easy. I just eat like potato chips and tofu, and I just like, I didn't know. So, you know, just my whole lifestyle was really setting me up for not having a lot of success here. And so had the cyst removed, and in that process I lost my right ovary and my right fallopian tube. And it was really just, that was a big moment for me to have like lost an organ like so quickly. And it just hit me. There was a level of knowingness, like you really need to start caring for this body in a real way. So let's talk about what I did just to like baseline, okay? Just to get myself like, what are the baseline things that I did from that point going forward, the things that felt, they were big life changes for me at that point in my life. The first thing that I did is I started I was so tired, you guys. I was working so hard, and I just made sleep a bigger priority. I stopped watching like any TV or anything like that at night. Like I didn't stay up late like watching that stuff. I just started sleeping a lot more. Now my body also really just needed some recovery too, but I just remember like making this promise to myself, like, I can feel that my body is exhausted. I'm gonna let you sleep. And there was just such a big moment of permission. And I think that so many of us, you guys, we just like, we don't prioritize that all the time. And really ever since then, sleep is it's a non-negotiable for me. There's like not much that is gonna get in the way of me getting a solid 7 or more hours of sleep. I don't believe in naps personally. Like I can't nap during the day. That's just me, that's just my body. Like it's just like not gonna work. I do way better of just being able to totally commit to 7 to 8 hours of being in bed. And whatever you can do to make that work for you guys, I get it. I've got 2 small kids. Like I know that that's not always possible, but to give yourself some pockets of time to where your body can really just lay down and rest and recover is it game changer for me, you guys. Like, had to happen. First step needed to be laying down. I totally get it. Sometimes there's seasons of life where that doesn't always work out, but call in that support and make that happen for yourself in prayer, in reaching out and just asking for support. Especially, I'm kind of talking to moms right now, like if you have little ones and this feels like an eye roll, like get your partner involved and like open up and, open yourself up and say like, this is really important to me. This is something that's a priority to me. I need more sleep. It has to happen. This is a non-negotiable. How are we going to make this happen? And take it seriously, make it important. The things that we make important happen. Another thing that I did, just baseline to totally reset, is that at that time I was not drinking 100% spring water, and I made that switch. We totally switched over to only bringing in spring water for our drinking and most of our cooking as well. And now I decided to do that while I was living in St. Louis. I was living in a city. There was not a spring locally that was like easy to access. There was one that we could get to. It was like 2 hours away. It was a huge pain in the butt. We did it like twice, and like that was not just sustainable for life. But we invested in a delivery service. We used Mountain Valley spring water, I'm pretty sure. I was really surprised. I got on the phone with a distributor and it wasn't a big deal. We were kind of close to a grocery store that they were delivering to, so they delivered 5-gallon jugs to us. I definitely had to like go the extra mile there and find something that was going to work within our budget and find a company that felt really good. But there's probably you might need to do a little bit of digging, but you guys, the solution is out there, and that was one of the things that I did. And frankly, I just noticed a huge change in my wellness when I did that. I felt really clear. I mostly noticed it mentally, like just thinking really, really clearly, and just feeling way more hydrated, actually. So that was a huge change for me. That was a big lifestyle change that I did many years ago, and that has been something that I've consistently stayed with. And I know you guys kind of like these things I know that they're basic. We're gonna get to them more like in addition to, right, like the topical things that I'm doing and other things that I'm inviting in. But I just have to say, like, these baseline things, like getting enough sleep and drinking really good water all day long, I can't like shy away and say that wasn't a huge decision that I made. It really felt huge at the time. Now it's just part of my life, but at that time it felt like a really big commitment to do those basic things. The other thing is that I started to look at my diet and start to introduce more herbs, more bitters, more greens, more things that had a lot of iron, that could really replenish my body. Schizandra berry was something. Ooh, I love that stuff so much. I go through these kind of seasons of I'll like buy some and then just like really go into it for a while and like feel my body just like drink that stuff in. I love that. Nettle tea with honey, super cold on ice. I like that. Red raspberry leaf was another herb that I introduced to my life after that. And it was just like those three, there were some other like burdock and dandelion and some other things that I think were in there too, but those three are the ones that I just find myself going back to over and over and over again. It really, to me, is just like the nectar of the earth. It's so, especially as women, those three, really, really good. Other things with my diet, it really started to go vegan and completely eliminated soy from my diet. I think we all kind of know that like soy isn't the best thing, but it isn't so much that I really had to audit, just like everything. A lot of condiments, a lot of like processed stuff, it has soy in it. So that was probably the biggest one, and still is a thing that I'm still like always like I don't know, I'm just like, is there soy in that? Is it, because I am absolutely rigidly like no soy. The other, and no dairy, no soy. Those were two that I just like, I made a firm commitment. I make my own vegan butter now, which is actually really nice. I put that on bread and it's great. Like I totally love it. It's super freaking cheap. I make these huge tubs of it and I just put it on bread. Okay, so obviously baseline covered, right? We're sleeping, we've got good water and good food, okay? I know that that's really basic, but I wasn't doing it, and I just like, it has to be a part of this video because that was truly what I did to get my, like that was the first step, okay? Right there. Now, in addition to that, like the additionals that I was adding on is that I really decided to start very actively meditating with my womb and doing this in a magnesium bath. You guys, I don't, you guys know I've got the two little ones. There's not like an abundance of time. I'm doing this YouTube channel. We've got the Young Living business. We've got the what, there's a lot going on. And so I like to multitask when it comes to even my etheric and like all those things, the metaphysical work. Let's multitask a little bit. Be present, but multitask. For me, what that looks like is creating a really lovely magnesium bath and doing my meditation and really connecting to my womb space. That was not something I was ever doing before, and before that surgery. And again, this is just something though that like it's kind of a non-negotiable for me. I have to do this. It really brings me into my body, really brings me into just being aware of my body and like listening to my body. Is there, because I don't want something like that it was knocking and then like pushed me over face into the mud. And so now I just really take that time to get into that bath, get my oils in there, get all that magnesium going. I really load up the magnesium, and I do this like once a week, maybe twice a week sometimes. And yeah, I just check in. I'm like, okay, what foods do we need? What herbs do we need? Am I getting enough water? What can I do to switch up my morning beverage that is gonna serve me? Like I just kind of check in, and that is it's so helpful to do that. Like I almost always get information. It's like, oh, maybe like go a little crazy with the cauliflower this week, or like don't eat so much peanut butter or whatever. Now I want to get to the two things, actually it's more like three, but the two products that I've started actually applying every single day, and I do this twice a day. Now again, this is just me. I am not prescribing anything. I'm just letting you in on like what my day-to-day routine looks like, and I need to go grab them. Here we have our two hormone helpers, and the first one is this little guy called Progessence Plus. Yes, Progessence Plus. Okay, so I think one of the main ingredients is wild yams, and then a lot of other essential oils that are in here. The wild yam extract. You guys, I put this on my wrists twice a day, and since I've started using this, my menstruation is regular. My mood is way just like a lot more evened out. I don't have these like dips, these like highs and lows so much. It's just like a nice even, balanced, feeling very mature about things. And I just take it and I just I put like 2 to 3 drops. I let it actually like run down my arm, and I rub those together, and that's it. That's how I put that one on. And so I've got that one, and then Endoflex, which is a blend of essential oils. I'm sure you could just look up and see all the oils are in here if you wanted to maybe make something similar to yourself. But I've got to say, like, this is so incredible for your endocrine system. Okay, so I put this I put 2 drops in my hand, and then I rub it on my thyroid. And our endocrine system was not something I really knew anything about. This would be just a really good one, especially for like if you have younger women in your life, or yeah, I don't know, and they're really struggling with the endocrine system. It's a big helper for me. And so the way I do this, I'm just gonna put it on because I haven't done it this morning. So I take about 2 or 3 drops in my hand, and you can make a roller of this too. Definitely like feel into yourself what like start slow, okay, with these. Like don't go like full bore if you don't want to. There's a few other essential oils that Young Living makes specifically for hormone assistance. But I will say, you know, oh my gosh, and this is something I forgot to mention in the first part of this video, a huge lifestyle change that I made. It was like literally every synthetic fragrance in my home is no more, okay? So laundry detergent, household cleaners, everything in the bathroom, all of my makeup. I would say at this point, the most like toxic thing that I use in my makeup routine is my lash glue, okay? Because I love the look of false lashes. Like I'm just not willing to, I'm gonna be wearing my lashes, okay? So like that I'm okay with, but everything that I'm putting on my face and my body, it's really clean. And a lot of it I make myself. Some things I purchase. You know, I just want that like super like luxe feeling when it comes to my skincare, and I want it to work. Like I want my acne scars to be healing. I expect a lot from my skincare routine. Completely removing all fragrance, okay? That includes candles, that just anything, dryer sheets, oh my god, like all of that stuff, you guys. There's just loads and loads and loads of information that we have now that we cannot be looking away from. We can't have that stuff around our kids. There are natural solutions for all of those things, okay? I don't feel like there's any part of my home that it like smells like vinegar or like that I don't love. I actually like everything that we do in our home feels super homey and super cozy and like really clean, and I'm not compromising at all, like at all. And that's been a huge thing, but it took me like 1 to 2 years to like fully go there, okay? So it's okay if that's like, you don't feel like you have to do all of these things like overnight, but I would encourage you to. If you're able to, then like why not? I wasn't able to, right? I needed to kind of phase into these new systems and just like way of life. If this is something that like you need this broken down for you, you want some help here, you want to totally clean out like every single fragrance or like every piece of makeup, like if you want to do this, I can help you. I've done it before. Like I did it mostly for my hormones, to be like quite honest with you, but I'm so glad that now that's not something my daughter is ever gonna, like she's not gonna have the same sort of experience that I did with like the household cleaners alone. And you know, like it's just, yeah, this is something that I feel I have a responsibility to do for my entire family. I'm so grateful that like I took the lead and did all of these things. But I can make it super simple for you guys. I also have a self-care club, a community of women, you know, just like us, who are like really we're just trying to do our best, right? Like we're trying to, like, we want everything to work for us. We don't want to compromise on anything. I don't believe in compromising ever. And but it needs to be super in alignment with the earth and in alignment with our natural state of balance. And that is so I'm so passionate about that, you guys. So I have a class coming up. Check the description. You guys can come and check it out, see if like this kind of lifestyle really works for you. I am all about like completely like luxe but natural, making sure that I always have these, you know, these are big for me. I do not go without these any longer. I won't, like forever. Like I really think that these are so supportive. I'll make sure that my daughter Lincoln, you know, has this Indoflex as she's coming into her preteen years. And yeah, so I'm doing a class. You guys can check the date, the time, the info, everything like that will be in the description box. So I would love for you to join in. You can ask questions live. We're gonna be talking about how to just like switch into this lifestyle of completely non-toxic living and inviting in some essential oil support, of course, but like other things too, like beauty and like what do I spray down my counters and like my kiddos' hands with, you know, it's all the same stuff. It's all really clean. You could eat it if you wanted to, but it smells really like, it smells like Christmas. So I hope you guys appreciated this. This is definitely like a very holistic approach. I really tackled so many different areas of my life to really bring things into balance because it's all connected, right? And that has been the thing that's been the most effective. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys in the class. Go ahead and click that link below, get registered. And if there's any other sort of topics like this that you would like to hear about, or something that I mentioned you want me to explain in further detail, leave that in the comments. What have you done to totally clean up? I know it's been a journey for a lot of us, so I would love to know like what inspired you to start living more non-toxic, or like, you know, kind of going in this direction. What are some things that are working for you? Are you making your own toothpaste? Are you like, you know, what are you using for deodorant? That's a really big one. Just love to hear everything that you guys that you're doing and what's working for you. And again, like, I hope you subscribe, ring the bell. I love talking about this stuff and connecting with you guys about this. And I'll see you in the next video.